So my friend had posted actually both of them had posted the albums I made them for Christmas, the Mono and the Hopewell album. So I decided, like, a lot of people liked them. They're like, how'd you make them? They were so nice, and like gave me so many nice compliments about the album. So I decided I'd show y'all like how I made them and what you can do in order. And you're gonna be needing to buy a few things. The main thing being poster board. There's gonna be a lot of poster board used. I bought a pack of 10 poster board sheets, just like from Hobby Lobby, just to make like the box and the CD like case cover thing, and then also the little frame, the standing picture frame that we had put the pictures in. Some things that you might want to buy online, you don't have to, but if you want it to be like the exact same as what I made, you'll have to end up buying it online unless you have them by chance. But one of them is the Digipack CD trays, the plastic little CD trays that the CD clicks into. If you can't buy them, I totally understand. I'll show you like a little alternative foam nub that you can put in the album instead, that it'll kind of substitute that. So it's that, and then the other thing is easel backs. That's what I use to hold up the the picture frames. You can probably make those if you have like cardboard or something. I just ended up buying them because I found a pack of 5 on Amazon and they were just, was it like $7? I'll show you those later, and I'll put like links in the description for like more information, or like links to exactly what I bought. So basically we're gonna make a template. You can go straight into cutting the poster board with these measurements if you want. Personally, I preferred making like a paper template and then cutting the poster board up. What you have to do is get a piece of paper, have it like a center square that's 17.5 centimeters across, like width and height. Just use like the regular, like the 11 by 8.5 inch paper. Cut it 17.5 centimeters wide and leave the 11 inches there, and then the 2 and 1.2 on the sides. So what you're going to want to do is actually make 2 of these, because you're going to put one on top of the other, and then you'll get your template like for the box. So as you can see, like with the template paper, those little, the 2 and 1.2 measurement, that's what we're going to use to build the walls, and those are going to be basically folding lines. So bringing out the poster board, what I did is just folded it along that 2 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 1 centimeter, one of the folds going inwards towards the box and one of them going outwards. And then, just for the sake of having like crisp edges, I got a ruler and just kind of pressed along it so it'll flatten down really well. So for the inside of the bottom, I got this very like distorted, it's kind of chaotic looking paper that kind of reminded me of the Forever Rain music video. And then for the outside, instead of just leaving it white, Hobby Lobby had these kind of texturized papers too, with kind of a box pattern on it, so at least it kind of gave it something instead of just being like a plain like flat white. So here I'm putting a bunch of like double-sided, it's kind of like tape, but it's not like rippable, it's like a roll-on glue that you put. I'm gonna use that a lot in this video. You can use any kind of adhesive. You could use like double-sided tape, you can use like glue sticks, liquid glue, if you really want like a hot glue gun, just anything that'll stick really well. In this case, again, I'm using these little roller things, and then I go in with the album and line it up with one edge, like line it up with a corner and an edge, and then I'm just gonna smooth everything down so there's no bumps, there's no like little air bubbles or anything, and then flip it upside down, fold the edges that are sticking out from the box in so you can cut the paper that is sticking out, and then you'll have the inside bottom of the box coated, and then we can get to the outside of it. For the outside bottom of the box, you're gonna have to get a paper that's as big as pretty much the poster board was, because it's gonna have to cover both the center square and then all the flaps that are sticking out. So here I'm just gonna be gluing down the center part first, and then I'll be gluing down all the flaps around it. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure that whatever pattern you have set for the outside of the box is facing down. You don't want it to be facing you, because then it's not going to show. So now that all 4 of the wall flaps are glued down, what we're going to do is actually make a couple of marks on the paper, because here you can see it kind of has like a nice finished edge because part of the paper is folded in instead of just cutting all the way down. So what you're going to want to do is make just a little marking at the first 2 centimeter mark, because what's going to end up happening is that we're going to leave like this little square sticking out. Instead of cutting all the way into the center where the first paper is, we're just going to cut into that first marking. So, and for the sake of like not messing up or making any mistakes, what I do is cut off the edges of the flaps first, and then I'll go in and cut all those little tiny pieces where the square is going to be left behind. So after you finish cutting all of the access off and leaving the squares there, just go back where all our original fold lines are, at least the first ones, the innermost lines, and fold those again. And if you need to, because it's going to start like building up some bulk because it's kind of getting thick now with both the poster board and the extra paper, you can use a ruler if you want to like pull it over. So the next thing that you want to do for us to tuck in the corners is actually pull those corners and then fold them into triangles. I would suggest folding them outside of the box and then folding them into the center, just for the sake of having a better crease. If you try to fold them straight in, you might mess up, but if you fold them out, you can at least see where the crease is. So here you can see now I'm just kind of pushing them inwards from the original like outwards facing crease. So after you finish doing those little triangle creases, you want to go in and do the second folds, like the middle folds, and then after that you want to do the third folds in the opposite direction, because that's going to be going flat against the bottom of the box. And then after you finish doing all of those folds, you're just going to cover everything in the rolling glue tape stuff or whatever adhesive that you're going to be using. So now that everything's covered, you're going to tuck in the little triangles so they're sticking against the inner wall of one of the walls, if that makes sense. And then you're just going to start kind of folding everything into place pretty much. So you're going to bring down the middle fold against those triangles and then just kind of fit everything into place, pretty much is all I can describe it as. And here you see like I got it into place. Now I'm just going to kind of squeeze it and get it more box-like and just make sure everything's really like pushed into place. And then here you can see that the corners have like that nice fold, and instead of just being like plain and cut, and then you would be like kind of seeing the inside, and it just kind of looks a little bit more messy. But if you do that, it'll look a lot better. Now when it comes to the lid, you're pretty much doing the exact same thing that we just did, just a little bigger with different materials. So what you're gonna do is take that first template that we had and then cut it just barely bigger, just because you want it to be snug on the bottom part of the box. So if you're going to be doing an exact copy of the album I made, the 7x7, then you can do your cardboard at 28.5, and then the little squares are going to be at 5 centimeters. And you're going to do the folds pretty much the same. Instead of 2 centimeters, you're literally going to go like 2.1 or 2.2 for the walls instead of 2 centimeters like earlier. So here I have the paper matching again. This one's more of a messed up stripe one. So here I'm going to do pretty much the exact same thing as the first time. Utilize the straight edge of the paper so that we only have to cut off 2 parts of it. And then again, taking the really big piece of paper, adding a whole bunch of glue to it, flipping it over, gluing down the flaps, cutting off the axis, but still leaving that little 2 by 2 centimeter box. And then again, you can just cut off the straight edges first for the sake of like not messing up, and then you can go in and cut all the little pieces, all the little notches out, and leaving the little box there in the corner for us to fold in later. It gets pretty repetitive. You're literally doing the same thing again. Just go fold all the edges again like we did the first time. Do the little triangles outside and then push them in. Then put glue all over the flaps, and then the only thing that's different, and this is optional, you don't have to do it, but it was just for the sake of me feeling better knowing that it won't rip. Since it is on the outside, there's going to be a little bit of tension. I just got scrap pieces of poster board, and basically we're going to insert these into the edges. Basically, you're going to coat one side of it with the little glue tape stuff, then put it into the corner, the side that you didn't apply glue to, because all these tabs should already have glue on them. So you'll apply it to that, but then the little piece that you put in will still have glue for the tab to, you know, grasp onto. Make sure you do 2 corners at a time. You don't want to like accidentally just put it on one corner and then one corner is going to be missing. Just put them both in, fold everything over into place. And there you go, you pretty much finished the box for the album. If you really wanted to, you could do this with any size album. Again, all the measurements that I gave you are for a 7x7 album. So moving on to the CD case, you're gonna get a piece of poster board that's gonna be 5 inches tall by 11 1/4 inches wide, and you're gonna fold it at a 5.5 inch mark from both sides inwards, so that way you have a spine of 1/4 inch in the center. So these are optional. You can either buy these online, and I'll talk more about them later, or I'll give you an alternative for a little foam button that you can do, because this is where you're gonna put the CD at. This is the inside of the album, this is the outside of the album. On photo paper, I printed these out. I already cut them from like the paper, and you're pretty much just gonna glue everything in place and cut off all the extra edges. Just making sure that on the inside of the album you don't glue any paper on top of this inside of the spine. You can do it on the outside, and like I'll show you what I mean later, but on the inside you just kind of want to leave it blank, just because there's really no point of having anything on the inside spine. Again, try to utilize the naturally straight edges of the paper to line it up with that little center line from the right fold, and then you're just gonna smooth it all down and then cut off the extra, and do the same thing with the other side. Just get the trackless side, glue it down, smooth it out, and then cut off the excess. When it comes to the outside front, is gonna go over the spine, and then we're gonna bend that spine back into place, but for now just go over it. Again, glue it, smooth it out, and cut off the excess, and then you can glue the back of the album. Just try to line it up as best as you can with the front, so it just kind of looks like it's continuing. So right now with that extra photo paper in the front, it's gonna only kind of have one fold, so you just want to go back and find where that other fold was that you made earlier and fold it along there. If you want to buy the plastic cases, I'll show you online where to buy them, but they are kind of only sold in bulk. So if you don't want to buy a bunch, what you could do is get a piece of thick foam, cut out a circle the size of the center of the album, and then just glue that down so it'll be kind of like a little nub that the CD will hold on to. Now if you do end up going and buying some of the plastic trays, all you've got to do is add like hot glue onto the 4 little bulbous parts. Basically you just get the hot glue, put on those little 4 balls, and then just press them into place. It dries pretty quickly, obviously it's hot glue. You want to make sure you line it up in the right spot, and then push them down, and then you can put your CD into place. So when it comes to decorating the CD, you can buy this CD paper. Depending on the paper that you buy, it'll usually show like where online to get the template to make sure everything lines up when you print it out. Here you can see I have both mono and Hope World printed on the same sheet, but just for this one we're gonna use mono. So, and I have this like little CD press thing that my mom's had like since the early 2000s. It's not electric, it's just like a little spring loaded thing. So basically all you do is take the sticker, place it upside down. on the little contraption thing, and then just put the CD on top and click it into place, and it'll like perfectly align it every time. For the frame is pretty easy. You're just gonna cut out a piece of poster board that's 5 by 11. You're gonna do one fold at the 5¼ inch mark, another fold at the next 5¼ inch mark, and then you have like a little 1/2 inch tab sticking out that we're gonna glue to the other side. So it's gonna kind of make like a little loop. And then what you want to do to get that little border is make a square border of 1/2 inch all around, and then you can just get like an X-Acto knife. That's what I did, just to take out that centerpiece. But you want to make sure that you're taking out the square on the side where the little flap is. And also for like the little flap, I just cut the corners in just a little bit at an angle so there's nothing sticking out or anything. So just take that little flap and then line it up with the bottom border, and then squeeze it really well into place. And then if you want, just so it'll get like flat like an actual like frame, I put mine in between books for a couple of days so it'll flatten out. It wouldn't be so like oval shaped, because it does want to try to like flatten out again. And then these are called easel backs. You can make your own or you can order them online. I ordered mine online and I cut it at an angle. The best way to apply it is actually to have it the way that it would be when it's standing, and then measuring the center point of the back of the frame, so that way you can line up the center point of the easel to the center point of the back of the frame, if that makes sense. Now you pretty much have your album completely done, all the parts. You can leave it like this, leave them loose in there, or if you want the way that I did, I got some thick foam and ended up making little pieces inside for them to like slip into. So this is the thick foam. Again, we're gonna be trying to utilize the straight edges of the foam that it already gave us. It'll make it less work for us, because then all we've got to do is cut 2 of the edges. And all I did was just with my nail, I just kind of made like a little indentation marking as to where to cut it. And I ended up cutting it, and I made 2 of the sides since it was 2 layers. One of them is going to be the same size as the little picture frame, because I put that one on the bottom. And then the second layer is going to be the width of the CD case, but then the height of the frame, just because you want the frame to be able to slip below where the CD case is without there being like any struggle of the CD case blocking where the little frame's supposed to go in. Finally, all I did was add again that adhesive to the back of the foam. I put one in and put that one down, and then I just added the adhesive to the other one to put on top. And then lastly, you can pretty much just assemble the box, put the photo frame at the bottom, put the CD in the center, and then the photo book at the top. Again, it doesn't have to be in this order. You can reverse it whichever way you want, but this is just how I had made it for the video. For stuff to buy online, you can literally just go to like Walmart's website and just send prints. All I did was go to like their Twitter, enter specific dates, and I found the photos that I wanted. For this one in particular, actually, like for June's, my friend had extra photos, so, and luckily in black and white, so I just gave them to my other friend. Like it matched perfectly. They were 5 by 5. It was like really, like I looked out on that. For like the CD cases, or like the little trays, I just got them from eBay. The smallest pack I could find was a pack of 25. I ended up still buying it. Again, if you don't want to have a bunch of CD trays just laying around, I would suggest just doing the little foam thing I showed earlier. It's obviously cheaper and you won't have a lot of extra material left. These are called easel backs. This is what's on the back of like the little picture frame that we made. Since the pictures were 5 inches, I decided to get 3 inches. I thought a 3:5 ratio was pretty good. And these come in packages of 5. I couldn't find anybody selling individual ones, but I don't think a package of 5 is too bad, especially if you're planning to make like all 3 of the mixtapes. If you do end up getting bigger pictures, I would suggest obviously maybe going bigger than 3 inches. Again, there's a bunch of sizes available. You don't have to buy it from Amazon. I mean, they sell a bunch online. You could just look like adhesive or self-stick easel backs. A bunch will come up. Then lastly, for the photo book, I ordered mine from Blurb. I do have mine uploaded, but I can't sell it because I think that's illegal, and I don't want Big Hit to sue my ass trying to sell merchandise that's theirs. So I'll be uploading like all of this stuff so you can like send it to print on your own. So here is just the cover of it. I did have to rewrite this because it was just so blurry when I like blew up the image. Over here in the photo book, pretty much everything is just screenshots from the music video because he didn't film any music videos, so there's no like behind the scenes or making of or anything like that available. The most I got was from Lumpin's Instagram page because he's the one that he works with BTS a lot, and he uploaded some like behind the scenes photo makings of the Moonchild video. But besides that, it's just mainly a lot of screenshots, like the pretty ones that I could find. I mean, the music videos were all pretty, but you know what I mean. And then here, these are the lyrics and credit pages. I just took this album, let me see, where is it? Flipped it and erased all the text. And then I found this font on DA Font. I think it matches the mood of the album pretty well. It's called Moonflower. Again, I have like literally everything available here for y'all to go just insert it on the, what is it called? Bookright? The program that Blurb uses to make their photo books. And then I got just this little, oh, hold on. This little guy from also the Forever Rain music video, and just added the credits on top of it. For the CD case, again, just a Forever Rain screenshot. And then I took that track list. Again, I had to rewrite it because it was so bad. Like, the quality was so bad when I tried to just blow up the image. And then also here's the little template for the CD if you want to print it out too. Again, the writing was so blurry. I had to rewrite like everything. But you know, besides that, you could download the Bookright application and enter everything yourself. I just really can't sell it through my account on Blurb just for like legal reasons. I really don't want Big Hit to like come for me. But I think that's pretty much it. Just, you know, I know it seems like a lot of work, and it kind of was, but like I think it's really worth it. The album came out really nice. Again, you don't have to go like super all out like I did, but if you do want to make it, this is just how you can make it. I'm glad y'all liked it. I'll be working on Hobie soon. I ran out of ink, so I had to order more online. I'm waiting for it to come in. And then I'll be working on August D's. I'm still designing his album, trying to figure out exactly like all the details and stuff. So hopefully that'll be out within a couple weeks, because I don't know what I'm gonna do for that one exactly yet, but I'm getting there. So thank y'all for watching.